Greetings from my household to yours on this Good Friday. This is the last segment in our Holy Week series, Who is This Jesus? Based on the Passion story of our Lord Jesus Christ as told in the Gospel of Matthew. A reading from the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 27, verses 32 through 61. This reading includes the crucifixion of Jesus, the death of Jesus, and the burial of Jesus. You are invited to read along with me on the parts in yellow font. As they went out, they came upon a man from Cyrene named Simon. They compelled this man to carry his cross. And when they came to a place called Golgotha, which means place of a skull, they offered him wine to drink, mixed with gall. But when he tasted it, he would not drink it. And when they had crucified him, they divided his clothes among themselves by casting lots. Then they sat down there and kept watch over him. Over his head they put the charge against him, which read, "This is Jesus, the King of the Jews." Then two bandits were crucified with him, one on his right and one on his left. Those who passed by derided him, shaking their heads and saying, "You who would destroy the temple and build it in 3 days, save yourself. If you are the Son of God, come down from the cross." In the same way, the chief priests also, along with the scribes and elders, were mocking him, saying, "He saved others, he cannot save himself. He is the King of Israel. Let him come down from the cross now, and we will believe in him. He trusts in God. Let God deliver him now, if he wants to. For he said, 'I am God's son.'" The bandits who were crucified with him also taunted him in the same way. From noon on, darkness came over the whole land until 3 in the afternoon. And about 3 o'clock, Jesus cried with a loud voice, "Eli, Eli, lema sabachthani," that is, my God, why have you forsaken me?" Then Jesus cried again with a loud voice and breathed his last. At that moment, the curtain of the temple was torn in two from top to bottom. The earth shook and the rocks were split. The tombs also were opened, and many bodies of the saints who had fallen asleep were raised. After his resurrection, they came out of the tombs and entered the holy city and appeared to many. Now when the centurion and those with him who were keeping watch over Jesus saw the earthquake and what took place, they were terrified and said, "Truly this man was God's son." Many women were also there, looking on from a distance. They had followed Jesus from Galilee and had provided for him. Among them were Mary Magdalene, and Mary, the mother of James and Joseph, and the mother of the sons of Zebedee. When it was evening, there came a rich man from Arimathea named Joseph, who was also a disciple of Jesus. He went to Pilate and asked for the body of Jesus. Then Pilate ordered it to be given to him. So Joseph took the body and wrapped it in a clean linen cloth and laid it in his own new tomb, which he had hewn in the rock. He then rolled a great stone to the door of the tomb and went away. Mary Magdalene and the other Mary were there, sitting opposite the tomb. The word of the Lord. I always find it difficult to say anything after this reading of the crucifixion and the burial of Jesus on Good Friday. Who is this Jesus in this story? Well, he's the one who dies. Who is Jesus to us in this story? Well, he's still the one who dies. And it's not like he just has a natural death at the end of a long and productive life. He dies early. Most sources say around 33 years old. That's younger than any of my children. And he doesn't just die of natural causes, he's executed. He's executed in one of the most public and humiliating and painful ways of executing someone that is possible: crucifixion. In addition, he hasn't had a lot of years to give his wisdom to the world. In fact, some sources say as little as 1 year of real public ministry, others say 3, but whichever way you look at it, not a very long resume. I remember when I was in seminary, my homiletics professor made it very clear that when we preach Good Friday and when we preach the crucifixion, the death of Jesus, we need to make sure that we leave him dead, that we're not in too big a hurry to rush on to Easter, but that at the end of Good Friday, we know the full impact that Jesus is dead. This is so when we get to Easter, we really can appreciate the transformation that takes place. What comes to mind to me right now is really a rather strange thought. I have found that as I think about the impact of Jesus dying on this Good Friday, a song from the 70s just keeps playing a continual loop in my mind. It's the song, "The Day the Music Died." I tried to ignore it for a while, but it won't go away. So finally, I meditated and then wrote down these words, which I think I'll just read to you. I begin to think about what really died with Jesus on that first Good Friday. I begin to think about what really was being nailed to that cross. Because on the day that Jesus died, what the powers that be nailed to the cross was the vision and love of God as embodied in the person of Jesus. On the day that Jesus died, what the powers that be nailed to the cross was the compassion and goodness of God as embodied in the person of Jesus. And on the day that Jesus died, what the powers that be nailed to the cross was the wisdom and the challenge of God as embodied in Jesus. On the day that Jesus died, the music of the universe, which holds the world together, was nailed to the cross with him. No wonder the earth quaked.